what I'm going to make today is a paperweight. And the unusual thing about this paperweight is I'm going to take a Indian head penny and embed it into the soapstone. Now you can glue one onto the soapstone, which is not difficult, but it looks like you've taken a penny and glued it onto a piece of soapstone. If you embed it, it's a lot more nicer, it's prettier, and a person's more apt to keep it a little bit longer. And because it's an Indian head penny, I'm giving it to a friend of mine who is an Indian. So next I will cut this mark right through here and try to get this as square as possible. And I'll be back in a minute. Alright, I've taken the piece of soapstone and I've cut it in half, and you'll take and look at the stones themselves and figure out which one is the prettiest piece. And I've chosen this one. So what I need to do now is sand all four sides. And the reason for sanding these four sides, you want to get the best looking side that will be up and that will support the penny. So what I'll do is take a piece of sandpaper, lay the stone on it, and sand it. I'm using an 80 grit right now, and when I get through I'll go to 180. Get it better smooth. When you finish with doing that, you will wash the stone off and you'll see the actual color within the stone. This is a little bit smoother. This way you keep it flat. This is referred to as block sanding. Okay, what I've done, I've picked the stone that I like the best. I sanded very smoothly the top and the bottom. I didn't care for the pattern on the bottom because this flaky portion in here. So I picked the top portion. You take your straight edge, run it from corner to corner. Put a little pencil mark, and in your opposing corners, a little pencil mark. Right in the dead center, take a magic marker and put a dot. Now the dots can be drilled away so there's no problem with that showing, but it shows you exactly where to do it. The device that I use, the drill bit, is just the old standard 3/4 inch wood borer. Now we are dealing in stone, but the stone is so soft that it'll actually go through it quite easily. Now if you place a penny on top of it, what'll happen, there's just a tiny bit of overhang. So after you've drilled your hole, you'll have to take a fingernail file or a tiny file that I use, which is this, and go around the inside of the circle again so that the penny does fit. The reason you use a Lincoln penny is because when you put it in there and look at it after you mounted it or embedded it into the stone, part of the edge may stick up. So you have to pull the penny out, and you'll have to use an ice pick or something of that nature, put it in here and pry it out. Then you go back and you file the center and file the bottom to get it all completely flat until it sits flush. After it sits flush, you sand it with your 400 or 800 grain paper and to get it all the scratch marks out of it. And you may want to bevel the edges a little bit so they're not totally square but a little soft square. And the same on the bottom and the edges, soft square. Then when you put on the beeswax, you put a little bit extra in the center. That's when you'll set your penny exactly where you want it, your Indian head penny or this. You can use any coin depending on what measurement or what size drill bit you use. And then you just push it down until it's flat, and the wax itself will hold it inside. After you've set it, you'll run the wax around the outside and let it seep in, and it'll cover the slight imperfections of the drill. I'll show you how to do that when we go to the beeswax portion of it. One more point about the drill bit. You'll see the heads of the point. What'll happen, you'll set it right on top of your mark. Drill the hole, and that starts it, and that keeps it going centered. Otherwise, if it was just flat, it would have a tendency to start walking. You put down drill and it'll walk over to the edge, walk in any direction, and you would not get a pretty round circle. So after I drill it, I'll come back and talk to you some more. Okay, as you can see here, I took my bit and I drilled a hole. Then I'll take the penny, place it on the hole. If you can see right here, it will not fit, as I explained before. So what you'll have to do is take a tiny file like this, or a fingernail file. What you do is put it in, start going in a circle. Get a better shot of this. And just start going into a circle. And this will slowly expand the hole until the penny fits. Don't be in a rush. The stone is very soft and you will make mistakes and have to start all over with another piece of stone. Just do it a little bit. Try your penny, see if it fits. If not, do not force the penny. You'll crack the stone. And just keep making circles. And what you're also doing now, you're digging a little well right through here. And that's probably going to have to come out, and by using a flat tip similar to this, you can go in and scrape the bottom and the stone will come loose. But keep going into a circle until the penny fits. Alright, now I'll begin to sand it with 800 grit wet sandpaper, which means you can use this sandpaper in the water. You take your stone, drop it down in the water, wet your sandpaper, and sand it. Give it about a dozen strokes, rinse them both off. Let it get focused in. And just keep rinsing, keep sanding until all the scratches from the other sandpapers are gone. But as you sand, you'll see this white, milky product. That is the stone itself on the sandpaper. You rinse it off so it will not scratch the stone again. Don't forget to do your edges. Then when you finish, take a Q-tip, or I use a pipe cleaner, and make sure you get down in the hole and get every bit of the loose stone out. That way when you use the beeswax, it will adhere better and give you better looking stone. So I'll come back when I'm doing the beeswax. You place the stone in a regular saucepan, put about a ½ inch water above it. Then when it comes to a boil, you take the stone out and you rub beeswax on it. My water has come to a boil, so I took a pair of tongs and I put the stone upside down to drain the water off. Then I turn it back upside right. Blow it to get all the other water out. And you flip it onto so the top is down, and you want to do the bottom first, because nobody's going to be looking at it, and you just want to seal it. And when it sits on the cloth, you'll get disfigured slightly. Do the edges, and the wax will melt and move down the sides. But you'll go down later and make sure it's all covered. Turn it up on the top, and it is hot, so be very careful. Do the top, do the sides again. Let's make sure you have all the areas covered, the corners, the edges. Looking pretty good here. And just be careful, hot, you may drop it. Alright, then do your center. And this center portion is what's going to hold the penny in. And now you have to decide beforehand exactly where you're going to put the penny. And I drill mine off just a little bit. This will be the bottom, this will be the top. So I take my penny, Carefully put it in there, push it down until it's flush, and take a little bit of wax and let it drip down on the edge to make sure it seals in there real nice so it won't fall out. And that's about it. Now I'll take a soft cloth, I'll brush it, give it a quick wipe, then put it down in cool water. Allow it to cool and allows the wax to set. Then after the wax is setted, you take it out and give it a good polish one last time. Do all the sides and back. Come back a little bit later and polish it one more time, get a nice glaze on it. You can also, when you finish doing it this way, take some pledge and shine it up. So now you have an Indian head paperweight. Thank you for viewing.